First of all, I want to say thank you for trusting me to take you on this real estate journey. Secondly, congratulations for taking action. Taking action is the first and most important step you can take. So let's get started. Real estate, getting started and creating wealth. I'm guessing for a lot of you, this is probably not the first real estate investing class or workshop. The first thing I want to mention is that if you failed at this in the past, it's not your fault. There's a lot of information out there and it can be confusing. Many times that information overload keeps you from success, but it's okay. If you've been concerned in the past that you just can't succeed, I want to put those fears to rest. You can do this. You just need the right person to explain it to you. The big real estate coaching companies out there, they want you to think that you need to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get access to the secrets. I'm here to tell you they're wrong. They have their own reasons for wanting to think that, but it's not true. If you've ever thought that those other coaching programs don't care whether you do a deal or don't do a deal, you're probably right. It feels as if though once they collect the upfront fee, it's up to you to figure it out. They don't benefit from you truly succeeding. They want to keep you needing them and their information so that you can keep paying more money without ever doing a single deal. The difference with us is that we actually care about your success and we truly want to see you live the life of your dreams. I want you to do a deal. I want you to reach out to me and tell me your story. So that's what we're here for. I know that you have a dream to change your world and make an impact. I want to show you how to make that happen during this presentation. So I have two goals during this presentation. The first goal is that I want to help two types of people. I want to help the beginner. I want to do it in a comprehensive, easy manner to get you to shift your mindset. The basics, mechanics, fundamental aspects of what real estate investing and building wealth really is. The second type of person is the experienced investor. I want to give you a no-fluff approach to help you tweak your current systems and help you understand that what you need is more leads in your marketing funnel so that you can close more deals consistently. My second goal during this presentation is to move the big domino. What is your big domino? Maybe you just need some additional cash. Maybe your big domino is creating wealth for you and your family. Or maybe your big domino is to simply break away from your 9-to-5 job. Look, this has been designed to get you on a much faster track to doing deals and making money in real estate than many of the other programs out there. Everyone knows that real estate is the vehicle used by the majority to create wealth for themselves and their family. But you may ask, who is Juan Cristales? Well, I bought my first house in 2001. It was a trailer, also called a mobile home for my mom. It was a bad mistake. I had no idea what I was doing. I purchased other primary homes along the way, not really knowing or understanding what I was doing. In 2011, I found myself possibly leaving a job I'd been doing for 15 years. Because of that, I found and attended a local real estate investing club meeting. I paid for their weekend crash course on buying single-family homes and turning them into rentals. The information was so powerful that the night after the event, I had a hard time sleeping because I was so excited about the possibilities that awaited me. Traditionally, we work until retirement. This makes it tough to invest and save. Well, real estate investing showed me a different path. In 2018, we did about 30 houses. In 2019, we did about 50 houses. In 2020, we did about 40 houses, but we started building new construction, ground up construction. By 2021, we had done close to 190 houses and started a JV for larger deals. 2022, I decided to begin organizing and implementing all the lessons I had learned from all of these houses through eLearn REI. We find, fund, fix, and flip houses in every cycle that we see. I want to start by debunking some major myths in real estate. Myth number one, you need money to make money. Here we have real estate agent and realtor Bobby. He found this house on Demaree Street in Houston, Texas. The house was absolutely busted. He was able to sell it in 14 days. The purchase price along with closing costs was $20,949. The total rehab was $325. Yes, that's right. The total rehab was $325. All we paid for was a trash out and a cleaning. He sold it for $50,000 and made $26,280 in profit on this single house. Bobby used none of his own money to buy the property and was able to walk away with a very solid profit with a tiny rehab budget. That means the myth that you need money to make money is debunked. The truth is that it is definitely possible to make money with no money. Debunking myth number two, a newbie will surely fail. Here we have Georgina. She used some of the basic non-paid techniques of marketing that I taught her, and she reached out to a local relationship she had. She found this diamond in the rough house. This house was severely outdated with the wood paneling on the walls. The kitchen was tiny. The windows were that 1970s style single pane aluminum windows known for causing excessive condensation on the window seals. The exterior was drab. It had no curb appeal, as you can see. It even had the original appliances with the analog timer and temperature gauges on it. Here's what the house looks like completed. She redid the interior and exterior completely. She chose some very basic aesthetic colors, light fixtures that complemented the size. Kitchen was completely redone along with cabinets, countertops, and backsplash. The flooring throughout the house was upgraded along with bathrooms. The house simply looks spectacular. The house sold for $319,900 in a matter of days for cash, and Georgina walked away with a $30,000 profit on the deal. Debunking myth number 2, a newbie flipper will surely fail. The truth is that Georgina enjoyed the process. She found the right deal the way I taught her. She was humble enough to ask for help with things she didn't understand. Debunking myth number 3, go find deals where there is less competition. That will help. Absolutely not. Houses in a remote area have a slow-moving market, and if you aren't planning to fix and flip it, the investor pool in those areas is extremely small. So what do? We buy it where everyone is buying. I know that's counterintuitive, but let me show you an example. This is Anthony, and he was only 19 years old when he found this fix and flip house in Humble, Texas. The house was purchased with private money, rehabbed in less than 4 weeks, was on the MLS soon after. Because he focused where everyone was buying, within a few days on market, he had tons of offers on this house. So debunking myth number 3, go find deals where there is less competition. That will help. The truth is that you have to beat everyone to the seller. Let me repeat that again. The truth is you have to beat everyone to the seller. That, my friends, will ensure you get the best deal on a property. Now that we've talked about some myths, let's talk about some major secrets in the real estate industry. These are 3 major secrets of the real estate investor industry. Secret number 1, buy where everyone is already buying. Secret number 2, how wholesaling and wholetailing can make you fast cash without using your own cash. Secret number 3, leveraging social media to build a buyer's list, sell fast and save money. Let's talk about secret number 1, buy where everyone is buying. Your buying decision has to be 100% data driven. You do this by getting data on sold properties, not pending properties, not active, actual sold properties. If you're doing a rental analysis, it's the same thing. You get data on leased properties, not pending to be leased or active on the MLS to be leased, actually leased properties. There is a significant difference, so make sure you understand this point clearly. Your exit strategy has to also be 100% data driven. You need lots of leased comps for rentals. You need lots of sold comps for any fix and flips, and you need to see lots of cash purchases for wholesales. And lastly, think to yourself, who is my end buyer and what are they likely to do with this property? Let me show you another student, Alfredo. This guy started out as a painter, sheetrock guy, and slowly has worked his way into bigger and bigger deals and now owns his own rentals. This is a house he found from making friends with an insurance adjuster. The house was on the market, and while it was on the market, the house had an electrical fire in which the insurance company called a total loss. There was tons of activity around this property. There was lots of sold data, so the purchasing decision on the price was very, very easy. Hopefully you're beginning to see what I mean by that. If I can see 15 houses around this house that have all sold for ballpark $300,000, then it is very safe assumption that I can sell the same house for about $300,000 once it's fixed up and ready to go. There was extensive fire and smoke damage to the house, as you can see. The previous owners were only able to take some personal items and literally left everything else behind. So here's the house fully remodeled. The primary bedroom was enlarged and set the new comp for the neighborhood. Some people are apprehensive about paying full commissions to real estate agents, but you have to understand that some agents, like Genevieve Rowland, bring tremendous expertise, knowledge, and negotiation experience to the table. This property was under contract for over $300,000 in a matter of days with multiple offers. The final product, although a 6-figure rehab, was nothing short of incredible. The profit and the speed were a direct result of knowing and understanding the data prior to the purchase. Let's move on to secret number 2. Wholesale and wholetail for fast cash. I'm only going to talk about a handful of exit strategies. What is an exit strategy? Simply put, once you acquire a piece of real estate, what are you ultimately planning to do with it? So let's talk about a few options. 1, wholesale the property. 2, wholesale the property. 3, do a mini rehab. 4, do a full rehab. 5, turn it into a rental property. There are other exit strategies, but for simplicity, let's just focus on these for right now. What is wholesaling? The concept is quite simple. You find a seller who wants $100,000 for their property, then you put it under contract and put some earnest money. In some cases, you can put down as little as $20, but it is always recommended that you put down several $100s for earnest money. After this, you find a buyer willing to pay $110,000 for the same property. You then assign to that end buyer the $100,000 purchase price contract to them for a $10,000 fee. Once the property closes, you will be paid out on the settlement statement, just as the title company will be paid out then as well. In essence, you assign a contract to an end buyer for a fee. You'll ask, why would anyone sell their property at a discount? That doesn't make any sense to me. That is a very fair question. Let me explain it to you with a quick story about a bike that I bought at Academy. I was just getting into mountain biking and got myself an entry-level newbie bike for about $250. I got a lot of great use out of the bike, but after a while I got a flat tire and I didn't get around to fixing it. I left it on the side of the garage. Then the other tire just went flat. Don't know how, but it just lost air. Sometimes when I was in a hurry, I would knock my shin on the pedal. Of course, that was painful. Sometimes I would open the car door only to have the bike tip over onto my car and scratch it. After some time, we decided to have a yard sale to get rid of stuff in the garage. The bike was the first thing that came to mind. So early one sunny Saturday morning, I'm wheeling this bike with 2 flat tires out on the driveway. I still remember the guy who saw me and immediately yelled out, "Hey, are you selling that bike?" To which I replied, "Yeah." "How much you want for it?" he said. I was like, I don't know, 20 bucks. He then reached into his pocket, pulled out some cash, and said, "I have $10 right here, right now." He said, "Do you want it?" And I said, "Sure." Now I want you to understand something very basic hidden inside this transaction. 1, the amount of money I paid for the bike at Academy had very little to do with my decision to sell it for $10. 2, I didn't look at the bike as a $240 loss. I looked at the bike as a nuisance, as a problem, something I had gotten my use out of and wanted to part ways with it and still make a little money. Believe it or not, there are people out there, you may not be one of them because you're watching this video, but they look at their property as a headache, a nuisance, just a massive problem they have to deal with on a regular basis. Back to the house for $100,000 and the end buyer for $110,000. Although the numbers they're not quite as drastic, there's still value in connecting the seller and the cash buyer. This happens every single day, every day. People just like you are making money without having to use any of their own money. In the wholesaling space, you may have to put down a couple $100s. If you have a solid deal and you need earnest money, please reach out to me. Do not lose a deal because you can't come up with a few $100, but this is very doable. What is wholetailing? Well, in a wholesale scenario, you are putting a house under contract, putting down their earnest money just like in wholesaling. The difference here is that you are actually closing on the deal and buying the property. But Juan, I don't have the money to buy the house. Not to worry. We have that covered, and we're going to go into detail about how to use private lenders to buy these houses and these properties as well. Oftentimes in a wholesale situation, the seller has some significant urgency and you really don't have a lot of time. You're going to need the title company's support to make this deal close fast. You take the deal to the closing table and take ownership, correctly doing only what is needed. And this is what it looks like. A, trash out everything the seller leaves behind. Sometimes they pack a suitcase and leave everything behind. That is 100% okay. B, remove the smelly carpet to get the odors out of the house. C, conduct a deep cleaning, and you're probably gonna have to pay extra because the kitchen and the bathrooms likely have not been cleaned in years. D, lastly, you get professional pictures of the house and list it on the MLS. So in this type of transaction, you're buying the house, doing a very rudimentary cleaning along with lawn maintenance and listing it for sale on the retail market, which is why we call it wholesale, because it's going on the retail market. Let's go over a quick case study. This is Leanna, and she door knocked the seller in Humble, whose house was going up on the auction block for non-payment of taxes in about 10 days or so. The seller knew, but as sellers do sometimes, they just procrastinate until the 11th hour. The house was brutally filthy. The older gentleman who lived there was allowing a dog to use one of the bedrooms as a dog's bathroom. Leanna was able to buy this house in a matter of about 5 days, all in for somewhere around $80,000. The $80,000 covered the amount of back taxes, closing costs, seller proceeds. That was about it. After the trash out, cleanup, and lawn maintenance like we just talked about, she listed it on the MLS and had multiple cash offers and closed it in a matter of weeks. The total profit for that property was close to $33,000. Moving on to secret number 3, leveraging social media to sell and save. We don't list houses, we try to launch them. So let me explain. Here's a quick disclaimer. Some programs out there teach that you don't have to tell the seller that you aren't going to be the end buyer. I believe that if you're genuinely trying to help a seller, you are more than able to be transparent with that seller. All you simply need to do is tell them, look, I'm not your end buyer at the price point you're asking. I do have a list of cash buyers who would likely be willing to buy this property at your number. If you give me 14 days to market your property, I'll find a cash buyer. I would be making a small fee of like $5,000, but the cash buyer would be paying me that, not you. Does that sound like something you'd be comfortable with? Very simple. Okay, so now that we've been transparent with the seller about wholesaling the property, we will then market to cash buyers on social media and email. We will then request non-refundable earnest money from the end buyer. We will assign our interest in the property via an assignment of contract. We will close it and get paid at the closing table. Let me show you what a simple social media account for selling properties looks like. Here's one I created very easily with just pictures of houses. There is nothing personal on here. I called it Discounted Houses Near You. The profile picture can be something simple like a for sale sign. As you can see, here we have a house on Belmont Street in Tomball. The copy for the ad is very simple. Housing alert, steal this house in Tomball for $99,700. Very simple, beds, bath, along with phone numbers so they can reach me. If you click on the ad, it would have taken you to pictures of the house along with more information about the dimensions, the year built, etc. Here's the most important part about this. I think I paid Facebook $100 to boost the post, and it had 1,039 in organic reach, 4,529 in paid reach, and of those, 630 people clicked on the post. That's over 5,400 people who saw this one post, and we were able to find a cash buyer that was not in our database already of investor cash buyers. We then were able to sell to that buyer future Tomball deals. It was actually 2 guys who happened to be brothers, and they had just, pretty good solid buying capacity. You simply cannot pay a real estate agent $100 to do this type of work, and you wouldn't want to either. So here's a couple more examples. One was an old mobile home on almost an acre in New Caney that sold super fast to a local lady who just happened to have $35,000 in cash under her mattress, I think. The post had 476 people reached, and she reached out to us asking if we could please remove the post because she didn't want to lose her deal. So we did. The next one was a house on Drava Lane. That needed lots of work, and we posted it for sale as an owner finance deal. I know the demographic of my end buyer for something like this in the area, and it was located where there are primarily Spanish speakers. This ad had to be taken down after several hours due to the large number of phone calls we were getting that we weren't able to handle. We set an appointment for showing on Saturday morning, and we had the streets lined with buyers ready to see the inside of the house. Here's my point. You can definitely leverage social media to increase profit and sell faster. Here's Matt. Matt is an electrician by trade, and he came to me wanting to learn more about flipping houses. If you look at these 2 properties, one is a mobile and the other is an older style home on pier and beam, and he was able to make close to $20,000 on these 2 deals. Deals that your regular investors would likely pass on. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Does it feel like you've been drinking from a fire hose? Yes, I agree with you. This is a lot of information. Are you excited? Are you overwhelmed? It is impossible for me to show you everything in this time that we have together right now. I created a special package for those who are ready to move forward. Here's what you're going to get from me. eLearn modules are teaching you how to find deals, develop relationships, and the simple yet effective scripts that I use. Another section of modules teaching you how to properly conduct due diligence so that you can make competitive offers. I want to make sure that you make money on every deal that you ink. In this section, we'll also talk about the business of buying houses and what that looks like. We then go into follow-up fortunes to ensure that you understand that any lead you get, you have a high likelihood of converting them if you do this follow-up method. We also talk about deal or no deal in this section so that we can get a point of reference of what a deal looks like and what definitely is not a deal. We'll then talk about the seller call and actually meeting the seller if you even have to meet the seller. Lastly, making the offer to the seller and the paperwork you need in order to be compensated for your efforts. There are several bonus lessons on finding deals for free, along with something most courses out there do not teach and hold very closely to their chest. I'm talking about pulling the curtain back on private lenders, who they are, how you approach them, how we've used over $10 million in private money in just one single quarter to buy, fix, and flip in rental properties that we have put in our portfolio. Here we have Ricky. He went through my course and education and was quickly able to scale up to 3 deals sold, 1 under contract, 2 rehabs going on at once, and 1 under contract to buy. This is a picture of Ricky holding a check from a property he wholesaled, and we're at a house that was just finished as a fix and flip and is now ready for the market. Who is this for? This is for people who are just starting out. This is for people who have already started and want to scale. This is for people who have had some sporadic success but don't know why they are stagnant in their real estate investing career. Look, I'm gonna tell you the number one reason people don't start right away. People tell me all the time, Juan, where does the money come from? Number one reason is money. The cost to learn this stuff for most coaching programs is $15,000, $25,000 up front, even up to $100,000 up front. The cost to buy properties. Funding the deals is difficult if you don't already have the connections or the actual capital to be able to buy. The major mistake that will hold you back from success is a limiting belief, a belief that you can't possibly do something. Don't limit yourself like that. Here's what you're going to get. You get a pro teaching you a value of $5,500. Deal analyzer spreadsheets that I've created, a value of $500. In-depth comparables for flips, wholesales, hotels, a value of $450. In-depth comparable for rentals, a value of $450. Scripts and marketing, a value of $500. 6 contracts and paperwork is needed, a value of $2,500. This is a total value of $9,900. There's a bonus if you decide to take action now. Bonus number 1, you can email me any real estate questions that you have for an entire year for free. Number 2, objection handling. If you need help with objection handling with sellers for free. Number 3, access to funding for qualified deals for free. Here is everything together. You get a pro teaching you real estate investing, a value of $5,500. Deal analyzer spreadsheets, a value of $500. In-depth comparables for rentals, a value of $450. Scripts and marketing, a value of $500. Contracts and paperwork is needed, a value of $2,500. You can email me real estate questions for 1 year for free, objection handling with sellers for free, and access to funding for qualified deals for free. Total value of way more than $10,000. What if all this package did was save you $10,000 in some sort of costly mistake? What if after the training, all you got out of this was figuring out how to buy where other buyers are buying? What if after this training, all you got out of it was finding a solid deal to wholesale, or maybe do it without none of your own money? What if after this training, all you got was how to build a page to launch your properties for maximum visibility on social media and actually sold it? I had 2 choices. Choice number 1, go as cheap as possible. Try and sell as many as possible. The problem there is that I couldn't stack on the value. Choice number 2, a little higher investment point. In exchange, more resources to you. A much better quality product with in-depth help to walk you through your first deal. What would the end result be worth to you? This is not a cost. It is an investment in yourself. Everything together. You get a pro teaching you real estate investing, deal analyzer spreadsheets, in-depth comparables for flips, wholesales, and hotels, in-depth comparables for rentals, scripts and marketing, contracts and paperwork is needed. You can email me real estate questions for an entire year, objection handling with sellers, access to funding for qualified deals, total value of way more than $10,000. All of this for a one-time investment of $997. You've got 2 choices. Choice number 1, you do absolutely nothing. Choice number 2, you take the leap of faith that it can work for you. Again, here's everything you're going to receive. And I'm going to add a massive bonus right now. It is a 30-minute one-on-one coaching call directly with me over Zoom. You can ask me anything you'd like dealing with real estate deals you're currently working on, or if you just feel like you need some direction. This is a limited time offer, so join me and the other people in our group who have gone from doing 0 deals to getting properties under contract and making money in the process. Sign up today. There are other people already doing deals.